How thin is the line between honored traditions and just plain, outright cruelty? The harrowing tale of Sanda Dia sheds light on this question, presenting a sobering narrative of a bright young man whose dreams and aspirations were tragically cut short. Today we talk about his life and how he was subjected to what is supposed to be an initiation challenge that was meant to bring people together but ended up being a nightmare. This incident, which was supposed to build friendship, ended up exposing the dark side of a tradition gone wrong, highlighting just how quickly people's sense of right and wrong can vanish when trying to stick to old traditions. Sanda Dia's life is anchored in a family whose story has been characterized by hard work, determination, and dreams of better days ahead. Being brought up in a multicultural family enabled him to become the personification of the different cultures that he grew up with. This made him have an appreciation for diversity and the ability to interact with people from various backgrounds. The move led by his parents, who were seeking greener pastures, gave him perseverance and commitment as guiding principles. He was not just known among his mates as Sanda, but as a symbol of ambition whose own background celebrated his heritage and encouraged him to carve out his path. During his academic career, he attended one of Belgium's top-ranked universities, KU Leuven, in his quest for knowledge driven by higher aspirations than the four corners of his classroom. Having chosen engineering programs, Sanda showed deep interest in creative ability, hoping that he could bring some solutions to global challenges. He was admired both by teachers and students themselves because of being a curious learner, making him stand out. However, his academics did not entirely define him. This made Sanda become liked by many of his classmates. He was friendly and appeared genuinely concerned about their well-being. Most of his friends fondly recall how he always had a wide grin on his face, loved laughing, and looked at the bright side of life. Sanda moved through campus with an open heart and hands that attracted others towards him, and consequently developed a large spectrum of friends from various backgrounds. His efforts to unite different societies with his dreams revealed what lay ahead in terms of great achievements. It is this which made the tragic end even more depressing than ever imaginable. Sanda Dia desired to attain academic excellence and social acceptance. Hence, joining a fraternity seemed like a good opportunity for him to be part of a larger student community that felt like home. The Ruzegom fraternity is synonymous with the high status and long-established reputation of the university. It was a guiding light to those who wished to become part and parcel of the cultural framework of the university. Standing out for its exclusivity and an opportunity to build influential contact networks, the fraternity drew in students who were not just interested in excelling academically, but also in having a family that would provide lasting relationships and possibilities beyond the university walls. This fraternity was more than just about networking chances or the respect connected to its mere mention. There was also brotherhood among those belonging here. It could be described as a place where bonds for life were created by people with similar experiences, only understood by them within their clique. Still, it was costly to access this closed society. The initiation process, termed informally as baptism, was a notorious rite of passage that pushed participants to their physical limits while at the same time testing their mental fortitude. Its rumors were abundant, some of which described bizarre tasks, or even those with deadly risks. Nevertheless, Sanda and other students found themselves becoming members of Ruzegom due to its prestigious status alongside the benefits associated with networking and camaraderie. Driven by his need for recognition and identification within the university's social structure, he therefore decided to become a part of the fraternity, thereby beginning what would be a tough journey ahead. Unbeknownst to him, however, this single action would eventually take him beyond the point of no return, signifying the dangerous confluence between tradition and brutalization. The hazing ritual that was done to Sanda Dia and his pals looked like a test of cruelty by endurance that was carefully disguised to appear as a means of fostering brotherhood, but instead inadvertently exposed an image of shame and danger. A closer examination of numerous inquiries has given an hour-by-hour account of brute atrocities, culminating into a tragedy with fatal consequences. At first glance, This ordeal could be taken for some ordinary hazing activity gone wrong. On day one, the pledges were made to drink excessive amounts of alcohol as they were demeaned in various ways. Acts of humiliation were endured, and the members of the fraternity urinated on them, a practice that glorified the false superiority complex and blatant cruelty. Consequently, they took them to Sanda's room where their heads were shaved. The taps were also locked, denying them water after their excessive alcohol intake. The sun rose the following morning, bringing new horrors with it. Almost crawling, they drove Sanda and the pledges to a remote timber cottage where each one dug his trench, only to be made to sit in there half-naked, shivering, while iced water was poured over them. The 18 fraternity members not only continued their urinary humiliations, but also bombarded them with insults. The ritual was also barbaric because they were made to drink a disgusting mixture of pet food and fish oil. They were forced to eat an eel, goldfish, and mouse heads, a clear indication of how perverse the fraternity's practices could get. It was at night that they were tormented in the darkness, and Sanda's condition started deteriorating visibly, because he had been drenched with icy cold water when inside the pit. This, together with excessive exposure to cold as well as ingestion of poisonous substances, made him unresponsive. Dragged out by other pledges, he was unconscious, beyond coherence, and finally assumed a fetal position until they opened up. Sanda was therefore taken to the hospital belatedly by the fraternity members showing their carelessness. He slipped into a coma on arrival with severe hypothermia and critical hypernatremia, or high salt levels in his body.
Noodcentraal 112, ziekenwagen en brandweer.
Goed, we hebben een noodzaak en we hadden een drill in een van onze dokter flauw gevallen.
Ja.
Die heeft een spouwdijk moeten.
Ja.
Ik kwam bij de receptie, maar ik is op maar die is heel weinig touw en het is
Ja, en dat is op welk adres, meneer? We zullen daar misschien even mee beginnen.
Nee, we zijn heel met naar de vallen.
Upon learning that the young man was fighting for his life in the hospital due to hazing activities gone wrong, all other remaining hazing activities were abruptly stopped. 2 days after Sanda passed away from multiple organ failure, which resulted from hurried medical intervention, concluding his ordeal horrifically. As his health deteriorated, Sanda Dia's decline was characterized by a distressing slide into physical collapse, while those standing by were apathetic to his situation. Initially dismissed symptoms rapidly spiraled into a severe, life-threatening condition. His body could not take it anymore as he developed chills all over, bending his knees and morbidly going unconscious. During this time, the fraternity brothers showed signs of panic, but were still in denial of the gravity of the issue at hand. Their reaction, which came late due to confusion and false belief that his illness was only temporary, portrayed a lack of any connection with the reality of his situation being so bad. Unfortunately, the emergency medical response came too late. When he was taken to hospital, doctors had to struggle hard for him. He meted out close to death situations as evidenced by deteriorating vitals and multiple organ system failures. In the face of this insurmountable challenge, the hospital staff fought against time and the repercussions of what the fraternity members did. At least his heart persisted in beating till he reached the intensive care unit. But also it became clear that he had become a victim to uncontrolled and barbaric actions from the initiation rites he went through. The death of Sanda Dia, caused by a fierce fraternity initiation rite with members of Roizagam, shed light on the unknown dangers associated with hazing. In May 2023, judgment was passed by the Antwerp Court of Appeal, which found guilty 18 fraternity brothers for manslaughter and inhuman treatment. Each of these members, who are part of Belgium's privileged class, was given community service hours ranging from 200 to 300 hours and a fine of around $430 per person. Compensation totaling over $31,000 was also awarded to the family. Students will also be compelled to pay Sanda's mother the compensation she had claimed for, €1. Nonetheless, this decision has been widely criticized as many believe that the punishment was far too weak considering how serious this crime is. More information emerging about Royzegom's activities incited public outrage by revealing their involvement in racist abuses and attempts to deny responsibility concerning Sanda's death. There was one occasion when the fraternity members mentioned racial slurs directed at him as they ordered him to clean up after a party. One of the members was also seen in a photo wearing clothes related to a white supremacist group. One of their speeches also referenced Hitler, and they were captured singing a racist song on the Belgians' colonial history in the Democratic Republic of Congo. There were also deleted WhatsApp messages that proved how some of the fraternity members tried to cover their tracks after Sanda's death. This rage went viral when a YouTuber named Acid exposed the names of the accused, triggering debates on privacy and the role of public figures in justice. Despite his intentions, Acid faced backlash and was convicted of cyberstalking, highlighting the complex interplay between activism and legal boundaries. The untimely death of Sanda Dia, a young man full of promise who died senselessly and brutally in an initiation ritual, reveals that some fraternities value tradition over human life. His passing not only called attention to individual carelessness, but also caused national outrage and initiated a legal process against those implicated. The case, popularized by YouTuber Acid as well as celebrities, came out clear on what needs to be done culturally and legislatively concerning these activities. Even though many saw the judgments as being too light, Sanda Dia's matter became a catalyst for ongoing conversations against dangerous hazing practices, not just in Belgium, but worldwide. It is a chilling reminder of how important it is for societies to always be on guard and change their ways of guiding or controlling transitions into adulthood in the 21st century. The tragic tale of Sanda Dia compels us to question the boundaries of brotherhood and brutality. As we went through the harrowing journey that led to his untimely demise, we were forced to confront the dark underbelly of hazing. What are your thoughts on the thin lines between tradition and tragedy? Share your insights in the comments, and don't forget to follow our channel for more profound true crime stories. Thank you for watching.